Hey everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a new copy of Sherlock Case Connection. It's a pattern building puzzle game by Lucky Duck Games. Now, I'd like to first ask you if you can like and subscribe to this channel. It's something very easy for you to do and it's very helpful for us. And just like normal, let's get right into this game. So get ready to dive into the world of Sherlock. The Sherlock from the British mystery crime drama TV series on the BBC that aired from 2010 to 2017. If you're familiar with the show, you will find your favorite characters and the game will remind you of that TV show. And if you don't know anything about that show, don't worry. The game's mechanics will guide you to be a great detective, picking up leads and ultimately solving some cases in the game. This is the game here set up on the table. Everyone starts with 2 lead cards and picks one to keep and one to discard to start the game. The object is to get the most points in this game, but the first player to hit 9 points will trigger the end of the game, with all other players getting one last turn. You gain points mostly from completing lead cards. Each lead card has a number shown on the top right, and that's how many points it's worth. Then it will show you some icons on some or almost all of the 4 sides of that card, and you will need to make connections fulfilling the shown resources listed on that lead card to score it. If 2 icons are shown on the same side, then your connection that you need to make is either of the 2, and then the other icon can be connected later in that connection. But really, a connection is made by placing a thread card with the matching icon on its appropriate side of that card, and then placing the same icon proof token between those cards. Now, if you need a second one because there's 2 icons that are listed on that lead card, then if you choose a good thread card carefully, it has the other icon on it as well to continue the connection, and you will place that card in the matching appropriate direction, and you'll get the proof token that matches it, and you'll place it between those cards, giving you both of those in that connection, in that same line. Some of the harder lead cards have 2 requirements on 2 of the sides, and so when placing your thread cards, they need to be placed in a grid pattern. So if a card is placed on the right side and then is continued upwards, then it might get in the way of the other connection on top and then goes upward and then to the right. So managing which directions that your connections can go affect how you can complete your lead cards. So the game flow is pretty much like this. Players take turns, and on your turn, you'll first choose one of the 4 locations out. On that location, you can choose 2 things, either 2 cards, 2 proof tokens, or 1 of each. If 2 locations have only 1 item left on them, then immediately all locations are replenished with new cards and new tokens. When you gain your cards and tokens, you can always freely readjust them to wherever you'd like. Sometimes this is beneficial when there's no way that you can complete your lead card with the current thread cards available out on the locations at that moment, but if you rearrange them, you might be able to better position yourself to finish it. Players will continue taking turns trying to build connections and using cards and proof tokens to do this. Once per turn, you can exchange 3 of the same type of proof token to gain 1 universal proof token. This is a wild, and it can be used for any type of icon. After you complete a lead, you will then gain any bonuses listed on the bottom right of that thread card that are directly connected. This means that the card types that are adjacent to that lead card, not the ones that are through the other thread cards. Bonuses might consist of an extra point, gaining a universal proof token, or when you draw your next lead card, you can get to draw 1 additional card and choose 1 from all of those. After taking your bonuses, you will take the lead card and you'll place it face down in front of you. You will then choose a total of 2 thread cards or proof tokens to keep from the ones that you have in play to use for the next lead. All the remaining cards and tokens are then discarded. You then start again drawing 2 new lead cards, more if you have that bonus to draw more, and then you'll choose 1 to work on and place it in front of you. The game continues like this until a player reaches 9 or more points. All other players take 1 final turn, and whoever has the most points wins the game. So what to say first? Well, the box is very deceiving. This is a small box game in a large box. The puzzle is pretty simple, but can go different ways depending on what other players do in the game. Cards are always harder to get than the proof tokens, so if you can grab 2 cards that will work for you, then you should do that. And you should do that before grabbing your proof tokens. So for me, a good strategy is to study out all the cards each time new cards come out, including all at the beginning of the game. I figure out which ones are the best ones and which ones might work for me and my lead. If there are two in the same location, then I'll go after that first. Or if I know another player might want a similar card, I'll hurry up and grab that one. But the cards I really want are the cards that have both icons that I need for a connection. If I get that card, then it sets me up for the next card in the same connection pretty easily, and I don't have to get extra cards for nothing. So those are some priority cards that I choose over others. The next thing to think about are the cards that give you bonuses, and I tend to try to get the extra point cards more than all the others because they give me more points. Then I like the ability to let me draw more leads and pick one that I want. The wild proof token is good to have, but the proof tokens are the easiest thing to get in the game. Which also reminds me that when I keep two things after fulfilling a lead card, I try to keep cards. Again, the right cards can be the hardest things to get, but saved cards might not be used in your next lead, while keeping proof tokens is a lot safer bet, and you will most likely use them. So feel free to go the way that you want with those. The game feels more of a race to 9 points or above, and the little decisions might make or break you in this game. If you ever get hung up and there is nothing that you can get because there's nothing you need out there, it just feels like a waste of a turn because you can't do anything while other players are keep on going. And if new cards also come out and don't help you again, then you can kiss first place goodbye. So I wish there was an option to, instead of picking up two things, you just use your turn to refill the board or something like that. This would also help all players after you because they would have more choices to choose from. But when there is nothing out there that you need, then at least with this option, you will be able to do something to get the cards that you need quicker and not just grabbing stuff because you have to do it. The puzzle and the mechanics in the game are nice, nothing crazy. They actually go well with the theme, but if you don't want to, you don't even have to have that feel that it's a detective game. Like, I felt it, but when I asked my 7-year-old, she understood the game and how to play it and how to win, but she didn't understand how it had anything to do with investigating or being a detective. Anyways, this is a game that doesn't blow me away, but it's a fun puzzle that my daughter wants to get to the table over again and over again because she enjoys the puzzle and the race to 9 or more points. So solve some mysteries with your family and friends in Sherlock Case Connection by Lucky Duck Games. Again, this is Boardgame Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.